Alright, let's do the thing. Legend of Korra 2-part series finale, Day of the Colossus and The Last Stand. I'm going to quickly run through the plot and then dive right into the things I liked and didn't like about these episodes. Day of the Colossus starts out with Korra and her friends surviving Kuvira's attack and then just going right into a ton of different ways to try and take down this giant mech suit. There's lots of interesting bending and other plans that they try and come up with, but everything keeps failing. Lin frees Asami's father from prison, thinking that because he's such a great inventor, he might be able to approach this problem from a different angle and figure out a solution. He comes up with the idea of cutting through the mech with plasma torches, and then Varrick and Julie, who by the way just got engaged, find a way to attach them to these hummingbird suits. So Korra and the airbenders start trying to distract the mech suit, while Asami and her father in one hummingbird suit, and Varrick and Julie in the other, both try and cut into this mech so that they can get inside and disable it. The episode ends with Asami's father sacrificing himself to accomplish that task. The Last Stand starts with Team Avatar, now inside the mech suit, splitting up and taking on different parts of this giant. Korra goes to face off against Kuvira, Lin and Sue go to disable the weapon, Bolin and Mako head inside to take down its central energy. It all comes to a head with Korra and Kuvira fighting one-on-one. They take down the giant, but the two still battle it out. It looks like Korra has the upper hand, then Kuvira has the upper hand. It's really intense. Kuvira tries firing the spirit weapon, but it gets out of hand and Korra ends up stepping in line to save Kuvira's life, which creates a new spirit portal, putting Korra and Kuvira into the spirit world. Once there, they have a talk, and you really get to understand where Kuvira is coming from and how she became the way she is. They come to a consensus and Kuvira surrenders. Then it skips ahead to sometime after all these events have happened at Julie and Varrick's wedding. You also find out that Prince Wu is possibly going to pursue a more democratic route where his people can elect a leader. Alright, I'm going to dive into the positives and negatives here. One thing from this episode I thought we were missing was a confrontation, or at least a conversation between Bataar Jr. and Kuvira after all had happened. Because they were going to get married and then Kuvira tried to kill him. So it would have been nice for those characters to see how they would respond to seeing each other again. Another thing I had a problem with was that Bataar Jr.'s switching of sides was really predictable. I think they handled it pretty well, but I wish they hadn't gone that route. I wish it would have been maybe a little more complex, or some other unique thing that they could have brought to the character. It seemed like they tried to give a lot of their main characters a good epic fight to kind of go on top. Bolin, Mako, Korra all have epic fight scenes that were really fun to watch. These last few episodes, I wish I would have seen more Tenzin. I feel like he was such a great character, especially the last season and the beginning of this one, and I just felt like he kind of dropped by the wayside. Having Asami's father show up again was unexpected right away, but I thought it was a neat touch. They did layer it in earlier in the season when she confronted him in the jail. It was a nice send-off, just really kind of tying it all up and bringing it full circle. I like it that no spirits came in and won the day for Korra, because I thought once they ended their fight in the spirit force that they would have all been like, oh, well, we'll help you out here, kind of Deus Ex Machina. The next one's a mixed bag for me. I really liked Kuvira's backstory. I thought it was fascinating. I wish we had a whole episode on it. But that's also kind of the problem, because it really felt rushed, just like a big exposition dump in the spirit world rather than telling it through story. Two characters that really just dropped by the wayside this whole season were Jinora and Kai. Man, they built up Jinora so much last season, and then having her relationship with Kai, he seemed to be like the new dude, like the new member of Team Avatar maybe, I don't know, but they seemed hyped up so much at the end of last season, like they were going to be major players, and they were hardly in this season. That was really disappointing. I am so happy that Varrick and Julie got together at the end. Man, I didn't care for Varrick a ton until these last two seasons, and especially this one. He became one of my favorite characters in Avatar history. So it was so nice to see them get together at the end. I felt it was a great send-off for those two characters. I think it's so cool that the phrase "do the thing" became the slogan for this season. And then my biggest complaint is something that I wish they would have done that they didn't do. I wish they would have reunited Korra with her past avatars. In season 2, they broke that connection, and I was really thinking and hoping that somehow it would come back around and maybe that would be how she would win the day, is she would reconnect with Aang and her past avatars, and it would strengthen her and help her overcome the spirit weapon, but that didn't happen. Legend of Korra is not as strong of a series as Avatar The Last Airbender was. The storytelling is weaker. Some of that's on Nickelodeon. Some of that is on the writers. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Varric, I want to watch this whole series again just to pay attention to Varric's storyline, because I think that would be so much fun knowing how his story ends, to see how they layered it in and how he developed as a character. But man, this makes me want to go back and watch Avatar again. They've really created a really fascinating world. And until next time, keep doing the thing.